My beloved, I want you to lean in closely because what I'm about to tell you is not by accident. This moment right now is divine. It's a sacred appointment between your weary soul and the voice of truth. Let me say it loud and clear so that every doubt in your heart begins to tremble. God is about to surprise you with a long-awaited yes. You didn't stumble here, you've been summoned, because the very thing you've cried about, the very thing you've waited years for, the very thing that felt impossible, God is about to say yes. Some of you have been holding on for dear life. You've been surviving on prayers whispered through tears, on hope that flickers but never dies. You've been walking through the valley thinking maybe the answer was no, or maybe God forgot you. But hear me, God has not forgotten. God has been watching, and God is about to move in a way that will make you fall to your knees, not in grief, but in glory. You see, there is a divine pattern to waiting. God does not delay because He is indifferent. He delays because He is building. While you were waiting, God was working. While you were pleading, God was preparing. You thought silence meant denial, but silence was only the soil in which the answer was being nurtured. And now the ground is shaking. The heavens are stirring. That long-awaited yes is closer than you think. There is a moment in every believer's life when they must choose to believe without seeing. And I'm here to tell you, your moment is now. The time to doubt is over. The time to waver is gone. Stand up in your spirit, square your shoulders in faith, because God is not a man that He should lie, and He does not tease the faithful. He rewards them. Some of you prayed a prayer years ago, a quiet prayer, hidden in the corners of your room. Maybe no one heard it but God. You buried it deep, thinking maybe it was too bold, maybe it was too late, but God never forgot. God recorded every word, and while the world told you to lower your expectations, God kept working in silence. That yes was delayed, not denied, so that when it arrives, it will carry the full weight of heaven behind it. I want to speak to the soul that's tired, the soul that's been waiting so long that you stopped looking for the answer, the one who smiles on the outside but wonders if hope is just a cruel game. Let me shake you awake with this truth. God is not finished with you. In fact, God is just getting started. And what's coming is not just an answer, it's a miracle, a divine reversal, a breakthrough so sudden it will make the years of waiting feel like a blink. You see, God doesn't operate on man's schedule. He doesn't work within the limits of your calendar. When God says yes, it doesn't take years, it takes a moment. One holy second, one divine breath, and the doors that were shut swing wide. The chains that held you break loose. The opportunities you thought were lost come running toward you. That is the kind of yes God is preparing. But listen, this yes isn't ordinary. It's not the kind of yes that just adds convenience to your life. It's the kind of yes that transforms you, the kind that redeems wasted years, the kind that heals broken places, the kind that vindicates your name and proves your faith was not in vain. God is about to do something that will silence the voices that mocked you, doubted you, abandoned you. God is about to make it clear that He was with you all along. And don't you dare believe the lie that says it's too late. Don't you accept the idea that your best days are behind you. God does not speak in past tense when it comes to your destiny. The God who formed you did not place dreams in your heart to torment you. He placed them there to fulfill them. And if He made you wait, it's only because the blessing was too big to be delivered early. There's power in divine timing, and right now the timing is shifting. The tide is turning. You may not feel it yet, but something is breaking in the spirit, that tension you feel, that restlessness. It's not fear. It's the nearness of your breakthrough. Your spirit senses what your eyes have not yet seen. And that's why you must not quit now. You're too close. Do you understand that some of the greatest moves of God happen right after the darkest night? Some of the most powerful yeses come after a season of silence. You thought God said nothing, but God was gathering angels. God was aligning resources. God was holding things back not to punish you, but to bless you in full measure. Pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. I want to tell you something radical, something that will disrupt your doubt and command your faith. That yes, you've been waiting for. It's already been declared in heaven. It's already been spoken. You're not praying to convince God. You're praying to align with what He's already written. The yes is done. The yes is decided. So now the question is, can you receive it? Can you praise before it arrives? Can you trust even when the evidence is invisible? Because faith is not about seeing, it's about believing. And those who dare to believe when nothing makes sense are the ones who see the greatest miracles. God honors faith that endures the storm. You've been tested, you've been refined, you've lost people, you've lost strength, you've cried in secret, but what you didn't lose was your hope. And God is about to reward that hope with a yes that will eclipse every no you ever heard. This yes is going to restore your confidence, elevate your name, and break every generational curse that tried to hold you down. There are things that should have taken you out, things you barely survived. And the fact that you're still standing is proof that God isn't finished. If God allowed you to survive it, it's because something greater is coming on the other side. God is not a God of almost. God is a finisher. And what He began in you, He will complete with power, with glory, and with unstoppable favor. Some people walked away because they didn't see the promise in you. They didn't believe the vision God gave you. Let them go. Because when God says yes, He doesn't need a committee. He doesn't need agreement. He doesn't need anyone else's permission. When God says yes, even the gates of hell can't stop it. I know you've been faithful. I know you stayed the course when it would have been easy to give up. I know you've sacrificed, obeyed, trusted, and now God is about to answer. Not in part, not in fragments, but in full. A yes that covers every corner of your life. A yes that lifts you higher than you've ever been. A yes that leaves no doubt who was behind it. This is your season, not because of anything you've earned, but because of who God is. God is faithful to fulfill every word spoken. And if He said it, He will do it. If He promised it, He will perform it. The yes is not a fantasy. It is your future. It is the next chapter. And it is closer than you think. So rise up. Shake off the dust of discouragement. Stop rehearsing the pain and start rehearsing the promise. Stop counting the delays and start declaring the delivery. God is about to surprise you. And when He does, it will not be small. It will not be subtle. It will be sudden, sweeping, undeniable. Even those who doubted you will have no choice but to say, "This had to be God." And when that yes arrives, remember, it was never about you. It was about showing the world what happens when someone refuses to let go of hope. It was about glorifying the name of the one who makes a way where there is no way. It was about setting a testimony in motion that others could look to and say, if God did it for them, He can do it for me. So I speak this into your life. Prepare yourself, ready your heart, widen your expectation, because God is about to blow your mind with a yes you didn't see coming. Not because you're perfect, but because you're chosen. Not because you're qualified, but because you're loved. That yes is on the way, not later, not someday, but now. It's in motion, it's in transit, and nothing can stop it. Not the enemy, not the delay, not even your doubt. Hold your head high, rejoice in advance, praise like it's already done, because when God surprises you with this long-awaited yes, you'll understand why the wait was so long. You'll see that what's coming was worth every tear, every prayer, every sleepless night. You'll thank God not just for the yes, but for the timing, because it will arrive exactly when your soul is ready to carry the weight of the blessing. Let your spirit be stirred, because the time for hesitation is over. The time for doubting what God can do is behind you. What lies before you is a divine release that has been building like a storm of glory behind a veil. You may not see it yet with your physical eyes, but in the unseen realm, the winds of transformation are roaring. And when God moves, it is not in whispers, it is in wonders. God is not in the business of half blessing. When He acts, He completes. When He speaks, the earth responds. And what He's about to do in your life will leave no question of His power. Some of you have been fighting battles in silent spiritual battles that no one around you even knows about. You've walked through seasons where you question everything. You wrestled with questions like, did God hear me? Was I wrong to believe? Should I have given up long ago? But let me speak directly to that deep place within you, the part of you that still dares to believe even when everything says no. Hold on to that spark, because God is about to breathe on it and turn it into a wildfire of fulfillment. Understand this, delay does not mean denial. God often withholds what you want in the moment to prepare you for what you truly need. Sometimes the wait is not punishment, it's protection. Because God knows that a blessing given too early can crush rather than elevate. And so He watches, He waits, He refines until the vessel is strong enough to hold the oil. And now you are entering that moment. The hour is approaching where God is going to release what has been reserved, blessings held in trust for the right time. This isn't just about answered prayer. This is about destiny. This is about divine orchestration. You see, God is not just answering you, God is positioning you. He is setting you in a place where the yes will not only benefit you, but will bless everyone connected to you. That's how strategic God is. He doesn't move in isolation, He moves in revelation. And when He speaks a yes over your life, it echoes across generation. Some of you thought you were forgotten, you thought you had missed your window, but you don't understand. The window is not closed. It's being opened at the highest point of favor. You didn't miss it. God was saving it. Saving it for a moment where the impact would be greater, where the glory would be undeniable, where even your enemies would be forced to say, that had to be from God. You see, when God says yes, even those who rejected you will have to witness your rise. You need to understand the weight of this yes. It's not an ordinary yes. This is a mountain-moving, barrier-breaking, soul-healing yes. The kind that restores years lost to doubt, years lost to fear, years stolen by betrayal, delay, and spiritual attack. Some of you have been robbed in silence, but God is a restorer. And when God restores, He doesn't give you back what was taken. He gives you more than you ever thought possible. God has seen the tears you cried when no one else was looking. He's heard the prayers you didn't even know how to say out loud. He saw you when you had nothing left to give but faith. And that faith, though small in your eyes, roared like thunder in heaven. Because God is not moved by appearance, He is moved by sincerity. And your sincere cry has reached the throne. Right now, there are doors swinging open in places you don't even know exist yet. Opportunities are being fashioned with your name written on them. People are being stirred to favor you, to bless you, to help you, not because of who you are, but because God is whispering your name in rooms you've never entered. That's the power of divine timing. That's the majesty of God's yes. It comes wrapped in favor, dripping in purpose, and shining with glory. And let me warn you, when God says yes, some people will not understand. They'll wonder why you're the one chosen. They'll question how it happened. But don't waste your breath explaining. Don't dilute your faith to make others comfortable. When God elevates, it's not a negotiation. It's a declaration. And those who doubted you will be left watching as God displays His power in your life like a banner. This yes will bring a shift, not just in your circumstances, but in your identity. You will no longer see yourself as a struggler, but as a vessel of promise. No longer a wanderer, but one who walks in divine purpose. This yes is going to reintroduce you to yourself. You've forgotten how powerful you are when God is behind you. But now you will walk again in boldness with your head lifted, because when God opens a door, no force in this world or the next can close it. God is moving in silence now, but soon He will move in spectacle. What was hidden will be revealed. What was whispered will be shouted. The quiet yes forming in the heavens is about to thunder in your life. And when it does, the chains will fall off not only your life, but the lives of those who are watching you. Because you are not just being blessed for your sake, you are being positioned to be a signpost of God's faithfulness. So let me say this with fire in my spirit. Don't shrink now. Don't retreat. Don't tone it down. This is your time to expect the impossible, to stand in the gap and declare, I am ready for God's yes. Speak it before you see it. Praise before it manifests, because faith is the currency of movement. And when you walk by faith, you activate what has been waiting to be released. You must remember, God works beyond the natural. While others are watching bank accounts and connections and qualifications, God is looking for faith. Faith that stands even when the winds howl. Faith that speaks even when the world is silent. Faith that says, I trust God when everything looks broken. That kind of faith moves mountains. That kind of faith invites the divine yes. And yes, there may be obstacles, there may be resistance, but the presence of resistance is not the absence of God. In fact, it's often the confirmation that the breakthrough is near. The greater the battle, the greater the blessing. When God is about to do something big, the enemy panics. But let that panic be your proof, because no one fights for something that has no value. Your yes is valuable. Your destiny is powerful, and the enemy knows it. But God's will is greater than any attack. His word cannot be reversed, and His yes cannot be overruled. You must prepare not just your hands, but your heart, because when God blesses, He also stretches. He calls you to a higher level of surrender, a deeper level of faith, a wider scope of vision. Don't just prepare for the answer, prepare for the responsibility. The yes you're about to receive will require you to walk differently, think differently, speak differently, not from pride, but from power, from the awareness that you are walking in what was once only a dream. Let me speak this into your spirit. God's yes is never random. It is always aligned with purpose, always crafted with precision, always delivered with power. You were born for this. Your pain prepared you for this. Your struggle trained you for this. Now, it's your season to step into the very thing that once seemed out of reach, and it will come in a way that surprises even you. Because God doesn't just fulfill, He exceeds. He gives beyond what you asked for. He answers in ways that make your plans look small. That's the wonder of divine favor. It overflows, it overwhelms, it overtakes. And when it comes, you look back on every closed door, every heartbreak, every detour, and say, now I understand. So I say again with unwavering conviction, get ready. The shift is coming. The answer is coming. The divine yes is coming. Not next year, not someday, now. God is about to surprise you in the very place where you were broken. He is about to raise you in the very area where you were rejected. He is about to say, yes, in a voice so loud it will drown out every no that ever wounded your soul. Stay faithful, stay watchful, stay in position, because what God is about to do will not just change your season, it will change your life. Let your heart be still for a moment and let this truth settle deep into your bones. God has not overlooked you. The quiet seasons, the lonely places, the endless waiting, none of it was wasted. God is a master architect, and He builds destiny with divine precision. When He plans to move in your life, He does not rush, He does not guess. He executes His will with perfect power and flawless timing. What you thought was a detour was actually preparation. What felt like delay was divine design. This yes will not only satisfy your longing, it will serve as evidence to others that God is still the one who lifts the humble, the one who remembers the silent, the one who responds not to status but to sincerity. You will become living proof that surrender to God is not wasted, that tears offered in prayer are not forgotten, and that divine timing always trumps human expectation. And let me tell you something that may shake you. The silence was not punishment. The years when God seemed distant were not years of neglect. They were years of calibration. God was shaping your appetite so that you would not settle for imitation. He was training your eyes to recognize authenticity. He was preserving the best for last so that when the yes comes, you will value it not just for what it is, but for who sent it. God never teases the faithful, He tests them. And when they endure, He rewards them in ways that overwhelm the senses. If you knew what God had stored up for you, you would not complain another day. You would rise up with holy expectation, walking through every valley with a shout of confidence. My yes is coming from God, and nothing can stop it. You must prepare not only for elevation, but for separation. When God says yes, some things must fall away. Not everything can go with you into the next season. There are relationships, habits, thoughts, and patterns that were tied to the old version of you. But the yes you are stepping into requires purification. You cannot walk into divine promise still wearing the garments of the wilderness. God will strip you, cleanse you, and robe you anew, not to humiliate you, but to honor you as one who has endured the fire. God doesn't just release favor, He commands it. And when He commands favor to locate you, it will find you in obscurity. It will find you in lack. It will find you in the hidden places. Because when God chooses you, no spotlight is necessary. God does not need a crowd to validate His decision. He only needs a vessel willing to believe Him, even when the promise seems too good to be true. And yes, there will be those who won't understand. Some will question your rise. Others will misinterpret your blessing. But God did not consult them when He anointed you, and He will not consult them when He elevates you. This yes is between you and the one who molded your spirit in the quiet place. Let their misunderstanding be the background to God's masterpiece. Hear this truth with unwavering certainty. Every season of lack has an expiration date. Every delay has a divine reason, and now you are stepping into the portion that was held back not to punish you, but to perfect you. You are walking into what was reserved. Others may have run ahead, others may have reached it first, but what belongs to you is still yours, untouched, unspoiled, and exactly on time. Some of you have felt forgotten, overlooked, dismissed, but hear this. When God is about to do something great through you, He hides you first. He conceals you, protects you, and develops you away from the noise. You were not overlooked, you were preserved. Because what God is building in you cannot be rushed, and when it is time, He will reveal you not in weakness, but in fullness. The yes you are about to receive will be a key that opens more than one door. A yes that unlocks new relationships, new levels of wisdom, new resources. And with every door, you will find greater responsibility, but you will also find deeper peace. Because when you walk in what God has ordained, there is no striving, only surrender, no competition, only purpose, no fear, only clarity. God is not just sending a blessing, He is launching a movement. Your life is about to become a platform of divine power. Others will look at your story and find hope. They will say, if God did it for them, surely God can do it for me. And that is how God receives glory, not through empty talk, but through undeniable transformation. So now, beloved, let your spirit rise, stand on the promise like a warrior on sacred ground, declare with boldness, God's yes is for me, it is coming, it is powerful, it is unstoppable, and let nothing shake you, not delay, not fear, not the voices of doubt. Let your faith roar louder than your questions, because what's coming is holy. What's coming is divine. What's coming is from God, and it's already on the way. Let your heart receive this with reverence. When God decides to release something into your life, it does not arrive through coincidence. It arrives through covenant. This yes that is coming is not born from man's favor, nor is it the product of luck or influence. It is coming because God has already spoken it in the secret chambers of His divine will. The earth is merely catching up with what heaven already decreed. And though it tarried, though it lingered, though it seemed as if the silence would swallow you whole, now is the appointed time. Now is the hour of manifestation. The heavens are opening with purpose, and the floodgates of favor are no longer being held back. And listen to this truth with a trembling soul. When God remembers you, the entire rhythm of your life shifts. Time accelerates. Delays unravel. Doors swing open that were bolted shut for years. People who ignored you are suddenly stirred to bless you. Not because of anything they've done, but because God moved their hearts. That is the kind of yes that's about to break into your life. It's not going to be one you can explain. It's going to be one you can only testify about, saying, surely God has done this. Surely it was His hand, His mercy, His power. There are seasons when God hides your harvest. He lets the soil look barren so that you will not worship the fruit, but remember the one who sent the rain. God has kept the answer hidden, not to torment you, but to protect the purity of your praise. For if He had answered too soon, you might have attributed the breakthrough to your own wisdom or effort. But now, when it comes, it will be unmistakable. The signature of God will be all over it, flawless, undeniable, and overwhelming. Let me speak directly to the one who has felt forgotten by time. You've watched others move forward. You've seen doors open for people who didn't labor like you did. And deep down you wondered if maybe God passed you over. But hear this. God does not forget what He designs. He is not finished with you. You are not too late. You are not too old. You are not too broken. In fact, you are perfectly positioned for a divine reversal. When God says yes, it doesn't just bring change, it brings recompense. Recompense for the years of obedience that seemed invisible. Recompense for the losses you endured silently. Recompense for the prayers you whispered with cracked voices and trembling hands. When God restores, He doesn't merely return what was lost. He adds interest. He multiplies the return. He floods your soul with a peace that silences every fear and a joy that no man can take away. And understand this, not every no was a rejection. Some no's were divine protection. You begged for things that would have broken you. You desired people who would have drained your calling. And because God loves you more than you understand, He closed those doors, not to punish, but to preserve. God's no today often protects His yes for tomorrow. What didn't work was never meant to. And what is coming now has been refined by fire, purified by time, and appointed for your exact season. Some of you are about to experience a moment where everything changes. In 1 hour, one call, one encounter, your life will shift. And it won't be by force, it will be by favor. Because when God opens a door, you don't need to kick it. It opens wide of its own accord. God is orchestrating a breakthrough so specifically tailored to your soul, it will undo every lie the enemy whispered to you in the dark. It will silence every accusation. It will put peace where there was panic. It will bring light to the very corner where fear used to live. This is not a generic blessing. This is not a recycled miracle. This is a tailor-made yes, crafted in the throne room of heaven with your name written across it. That is why it took time. That is why the battle was fierce. Because what God is sending was never common. It's a blessing with weight. A blessing that requires spiritual maturity. A blessing that demands surrender. So let God finish what He started. Let Him complete the refining process. Because the yes is not coming to pacify your impatience. It's coming to establish your purpose. And now I say this with holy urgency. Build the altar before the fire falls. Praise before the breakthrough. Worship before the window opens. Declare it while you're still in the valley. That kind of faith draws the yes down from heaven. That kind of boldness pleases God beyond measure. Because God is not waiting for your comfort. He is responding to your conviction. Speak life. Speak promise. Speak trust. Let your words align with the reality of God's power, not the limitation of your surroundings. The blessing coming will not be quiet. It will announce itself. It will bring closure where there were open wounds. It will make sense of the sorrow. It will prove that God was never absent, only working in ways too deep to perceive. And when it comes, you will not need to prove anything to anyone. Your fruit will speak for itself. Your peace will be louder than any applause. Your transformation will silence every critic. So now rise up, shake off the residue of doubt. Break agreement with despair. Speak with authority. Walk with expectancy. Because this is not a maybe, it is a yes. A yes from God carries the power of eternity. It is not held back by economic conditions, by people's opinions, or by earthly systems. When God says yes, it manifests in glory. It brings a shift so complete, you will hardly recognize the version of yourself that once wondered if it would ever happen. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not disqualified. In fact, you have been divinely positioned for this moment. The same God who formed galaxies, who stilled the oceans, who paints the skies with the rising sun, that same God is about to surprise you. And when He does, it will be a testimony for generations. They will look at your life and say, surely this is what happens when someone trusts God beyond the pain, beyond the delay, beyond the silence. So now, I ask you, will you trust God even now? Will you trust God not only in the victory, but in the waiting? Will you believe, even when your hands are empty, that God is still writing your story with precision and purpose? This is the moment where your faith is no longer theory. It becomes the fire that purifies, the anchor that holds, the compass that guides you through storms. This is where you choose not to look back, not to question, not to fold under the pressure, but to stand with unwavering conviction that God is faithful to finish what He started. Let your soul rise above the noise. Let every doubt be burned in the flame of truth. Let every fear be silenced under the weight of divine assurance. God is not a distant force. God is near. God is present. God has heard every cry, caught every tear, and remembered every quiet act of obedience. What you thought was being ignored was being collected, measured, and multiplied for an appointed time. And now you stand on the edge of that time. Do not let weariness rob you of the reward. Do not let delay harden your heart. This is your call to awaken, to stir the embers of faith once more, and to walk forward as one who is certain that the answer is not maybe, it is yes. But this yes is not just for comfort, it is for transformation. It is a divine invitation to step into deeper trust, greater discipline, and holy alignment. Do not chase the blessing and forget the blesser. Do not receive the yes and lose the reverence. Let what is coming draw you closer to God, not further. Let it humble you, purify you, challenge you to walk with more integrity, more compassion, more focus. Because when God says yes, He is also saying, now walk with me more deeply. Let this be the season where your soul awakens to purpose, where your spirit rejects compromise, and where your heart bows fully before God. Not just in need, but in awe. So I'll leave you with this. Guard your faith, protect your peace, sharpen your expectation. Be the one who stands when others give up. Be the one who praises before the door opens. Be the one who carries light even in the dark. Because God is about to surprise you, not just with provision, but with revelation. Not just with results, but with relationship. And when it happens, may your first words not be, I deserve this, but with relationship. And when it happens, may your first words not be, I deserve this, but only relationship. Live now with purpose. Speak now with power. Walk now with confidence, because God has whispered a yes into the depths of your life, and that yes will echo into eternity. And no matter who you are, no matter what you've faced, no matter how long you've waited, God has seen you, chosen you, and now calls you forward. Go forward in faith. Go forward in surrender. Go forward in reverence.